10 seconds.
Step it up in the playoffs.
Yes.
They went 3-0 in the
They
group.
did.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think they're about to go 0-2 right now.
You're so harsh.
I know.
I would say another one. I was looking over my notes.
But,
It was.
I see where you're coming from. I like the pattern.
I think Liquid every
Dyer's
draft year,
turn to
ban
pick.
Prophet first phase, ban Morphling second.
10 seconds.
Step it up in the playoffs.
Yes.
They went 3-0 in the
They
group.
did.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think they're about to go 0-2 right now.
You're so harsh.
I know.
I would say another one. I was looking over my notes.
But,
It was.
I see where you're coming from. I like the pattern.
I think Liquid every
Dyer's
draft year,
turn to
ban
pick.
Prophet first phase, ban Morphling second.
10 seconds.
Step it up in the playoffs.
Yes.
They went 3-0 in the
They
group.
did.
I don't think I've ever.
Response to it. I think maybe it was
some,
Secret where they would pick Earthshaker.
I think some Witch Doctors as well, obviously.
Yeah.
The Cask being amazing against minions. Chen can. Although he doesn't technically produce them, does he? That sounds like he's giving birth.
No, he robs
He
them.
co-ops them.
Okay.
Or robs them. I mean,
He
you can-
owns them, basically. He
does,
said,
he
son,
owns
you're
them."
mine now. Work for me.
I don't know
Suns fan.
what word can I use.
You've been Suns fan. That's what he
I
says
don't know
when he
what
walks
else
up
to
to them.
use. It sounds so bad. I'll think of something.
Ah, we like it.
Servitude. Like it would work, right? The gyrocopter doesn't want to play aggressively into the bristleback. You're throwing a lot of AoE damage into Quills, into the
5
passive of
seconds
bristleback.
remaining.
You're mitigating that damage. You're taking.
Yes.
What year was it?
Exactly. This was 9 months ago, believe it or
Wow,
not. At
okay.
Epicenter last year. So.
That's crazy.
10
Not that much. And
seconds.
incidentally, by the way, in your answer to your Crystal Maiden thing, in the first game in that
5
game, they played
seconds
with an Invoker
remaining.
CM bristle.
Okay.
So
Well, with
let's
this,
see if they've been diving back into strat books from 9 months ago, shall we?
I mean, I've seen crazier things, right? These guys have been playing a long time, so I wouldn't be surprised. But You kind of have the counter already, another Toxin to some degree, and I'm assuming they want some sort of a Shadow Blade carrier perhaps for EG at some point, like an SF or something like that. But
fearing a second phase brew.
That would be I mean, Brood, I feel like you don't need the last pictures here.
I think it's mostly because the Viper suffers so badly against the Broodmother, where Viper is so dependent on being able to win your lanes, where if you have a bad matchup for this hero, which very rarely happens, it just screws over your entire game. So I think it's warranted here in the 4-5 ban.
How did you find Kuro's Willow?
I thought it was great. I actually thought it was going to be banned away in that second phase. It is not.
Dire's turn to pick. Dusk.
When you see Tusk, the first thing I think of, even though I don't know if it's really that accurate anymore,
Igloos.
but other than Igloos, of course, he has a lot of lore connected with CM actually, so it kind of connects with everything. But I think of Save, but it's not really this like super reliable thing until you can get like a Blink Dagger, which isn't really that often.
And sometimes
5 seconds remaining.
It's used aggressively more often than it's been used the opposite way around, isn't it?
I think about it as like a setup where these certain aggressive heroes like Viper in this instant are really enabled by the fact that you have this Ice Shard block off. Just works, it's like a more offensive Earthshaker in that regard. It's very hard to be able to get good offensive Fissure blocks, much more likely to be done reactively, much more done defensively in that regard. Tusk is like kind of offense in that regard. He likes to be able to roam into mid. It's a straight shot. Earthshaker has to do this wraparound. Tusk can just run straight through the lane, and it's hard to be able to give good ward vision to be able to see Tusk rotations, because again, they just go straight through the lane to get an Ice Shard block, and it's pretty easy to run. In fact, you've run it, if you put it in a specific spot, you can block that whole entire path. Similar zone, kind of how the Gyro Razor operated for Team Secret, and we saw how that overlap didn't work for them. Lifestealer is a good matchup against Lone Druid. If he has a vehicle, he's made perfectly to be able to jump on that Lone Druid and kill him really quickly, and he does great damage to the similar zones. Kind of how the Gyro Razor hero operating in the Team Secret. Bristleback saw how that overlap didn't work for them. You got to be Lifestealer is a good matchup against Lone Druid if he has a vehicle against Bristleback to be able to jump on that Lone Druid and kill him really quickly, and he does great damage. Kind of how the Gyro Razor operating in the Team Secret. Bristleback saw how that overlap didn't work for them. You got to be Lifestealer is a good matchup against Lone Druid if he has a vehicle against Bristleback to be able to jump on that Lone Druid. Kind of have Chen creeps. Apparently Liquid feel like it was going to be enough. And after all, it's not like every game needs a vehicle for Lifestealer. Evil Geniuses, with their draft of Lifestealer, they actually very rarely have a vehicle for him. And they're usually going to be throwing him, whether it's Artesia or Fear, throwing him in that off-lane area with the +1 support. I wonder if they're actually going to run full.
Strange pick, though. Who's playing what and what lanes?
Yeah, quite. that was the ask I was going to make as well. I don't really know what we're doing.
I mean, they go aggro.
So you don't want Ember Spirit against the Lone Druid. Lifestealer and Viper. I think you want
5 seconds.
Against the
What'll
Lone
it
Druid
be?
here. I thought they were going to have a better matchup than that, but maybe Lone Druid. If Lone Druid goes mid, you run maybe Lifestealer mid. I don't know. This is kind of weird. But then again, I think Ember Spirit can really only run mid.
Choose your
and it's
hero.
going to be matched up against a Timbersaw now.
Okay. Miracle Timbersaw. I love this. I love seeing him play Timbersaw. This hero just feels, I mean, we saw Mu play it somewhat recently. It feels like people have kind of forgotten about him, but he can take over games in the right situation. Not sure if this is it, but
Mineski definitely showed that they're still able to run that carry.
So we're doing Samael Ember.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter what, the Ember Spirit doesn't really have a good matchup here. No. He's either like versus a Lone Druid or he's versus a Timbersaw. It's a pretty decent Timbersaw game. I'm a little bit concerned that Liquid don't have one core to really make sure they don't get run over here. They're going to have to play that classic Lone Druid split push.
Okay, let's move on to predictions. Sunsman, we're going to ask you first.
Liquid.
Before you all right, okay, so you're going Liquid. Yep. Can we get a close-up, please, of Sunsman? Because he needs to do the, it's happening, the other one.
Or something like that. They weren't really able to close out that game, and they have to do.
Prepare to make way.
Right.
Who made you captain? It's pronounced Admiral.